we invoke the prayers of the Guru Parampara so that our understanding may be blessed, so that our pursuit may gain a greater depth, and so that our moksha pursuit is fulfilled. May we always know that we were always free. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So Nirvana Shatkam. That's going to be the topic for today. Well, actually, that's not the topic for today. Maybe you didn't read the poster right. The topic for today is I. I, as in I, the pronoun, or rather you. And we will look at who that I is in the light of this stotra or this shatkam. So shatkam is a word in Sanskrit for six. So 6 verses that are referring to nirvana. Very soon, Kala Bhairava Jayanti is coming up. And Adi Shankaracharya has composed a Kala Bhairava Ashtakam. So Ashtakam 8 verses speaking of the glory of Kala Bhairava. So like that, this is Nirvana Shatkam. As the story goes, at a very young age, when Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya was not a guru yet, and he was looking for his guru, he came, or rather he went to this place in Madhya Pradesh, traveling all the way from Kerala. So there is this island now called Mandhata Island, and his Govindapaadacharya was in one of the caves. Even now, if you go to Omkareshwar, be just below the temple, the caves are there. And so when he approached Govindapaadacharya, naturally the guru will ask, who are you? And it is said that Shankaracharya responded with these verses. Those 6 verses talking about who he is. Now, Nirvana Shatkam is also called Atma Shatkam. So because it's talking all about the Atma. So Nirvana, the word, also used later on in Buddhism, Sanskrit word, referring to moksha, referring to what is not changing about you as in aham, I. And the lyrics are not ordinary, very, very profound teaching. It's a declaration of who one is. And if you're looking for some sort of progression in a thought, that's not there. It's just a declaration, that's it. And like Nitin rightly said, these are verses for further contemplation. for nididhyasana, that you own up what you really are. Nothing new is going to take place in this kind of meditation. You see what you are, and you can see what you truly are when outside of the meditation session there is complete clarity. There is no vagueness, there is no error, there is no doubt about what you really are. So, one of my batchmates wanted to come to the ashram to study. So, he told his father, I'm going to India to an ashram. So, father said, for what? Self knowledge. The father just looked at the son. He's looking at his wife, saying, have you gone crazy? You want to know who you are? I will tell you. You are confused. I can't believe you are my son. And he's looking helplessly at the wife. And the wife is also looking helplessly at this man. You know. So, anyway, the son did come and is a very good Vedanta Acharya now. People constantly tell us who we are. Society also tells us who we are, who we should be, and we also have some ideas about ourselves. Now, why is it important? If I don't know who I am, I experience myself as a problem. I also experience problems with the world. Suppose you are talking to someone and you ask the person, okay, what would you like to eat? Today is a weekend. Do you want to eat something special? The person says, I don't know. Do you want to eat at home or outside? I don't know. Do you like to eat carrots or you would prefer brinjals? I don't know. Do you love me? I don't know. Suppose if the reply is, I don't know, you cannot function in the world. And so we have made conclusions about ourselves and we'll examine whether they are true or not because we need to function in the world. And if I don't know who I am, if I don't know what this world is about, everyone can be experienced as a problem for me, something to deal with, you know. So the verses are such that first we must articulate what you are not. Okay. And that's why Acharya says what he is not first. But what is the need to do that? See, it's like this. Suppose if somebody says, who are you? And I'll say, oh, I'm not a cat, I'm not a dog, I'm not a monkey, I'm not a donkey. Then this is very obvious, right? So you say, but hello, I asked you who you are. Why are you telling me what you're not? And that's a very valid question. But there is a need to say what I am not because that was taken as me. There was a mix up, there was some confusion, and therefore we have to first negate the mistake, and only then we are ready to say what we truly are. So we will find in this Nirvana Shatkam, na aham and aham. Aham is a word, Sanskrit word, pronoun for I. So, like that, you will have in different languages In Gujarati, you may say who, or Kannada, you may say nano, So like that you will have, or me in Marathi. So every regional language, uh, world language will have a word for I. And that word, pronoun, is pointing to you. Okay, so we use Atma and I interchangeably. So when Shankaracharya is saying aham, he's talking about I pronoun. There are four lines in each of the verses. The first three lines are correcting the mistake, and so there will be lines which say na aham, I am not all this, certain things are there. And then what I am not is what I am is just one line. So chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. So we will see what the meaning is. Now, before we really get into the Shatkam, we need to build a solid foundation to understand it. Okay, so this is like a pre Nirvana Shatkam. And for that, I will just share my screen so that we are familiar with certain terms. So, what we are going to be looking at now are certain words and certain definitions from the book called Tattvabodha. You will see why I would have done this when we get into Nirvana Shatkam. But before we do that, a simple question. Atma kaha is our question. Who is the Atma? Who is this I? My parents sing I'm a good for nothing. ऋतिक रोशन ही sang in one song, मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ, मैं वैसा क्यों हूँ, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. So why am I like this? Why am I like that? But this is how I am. Okay, take it or leave it. So, but what is the Atma? Who is this Atma? स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीराद व्यतिरिक्तः. So I want to draw your attention to the word vyatiriktah, one who remains different from sthula. Sthula is in the gross, tangible, seemingly solid body that we see. One who remains different from the gross body, the subtle body, sukshma, and karana sharira. I have only one body. What is it? Three bodies. No, we will see what these three bodies are. And what is this Atma? Who is this I? Really speaking, Satchidananda Rupaha Sun, always remaining as the limitless being, that is consciousness, that is fullness, that is the self, that is you, the Atma. Whenever we say the word Atma, please do not imagine anything. Do not visualize anything. Don't try to make it a diagram, because the diagram will come into your head when I will say the word Atma. Atma is I. That's it. So one who remains different from all these three shariras. What are these three bodies? Okay, so we look at them one by one. Just quickly, I'll run through this. Sthula Shariram Kim. What is this gross body? There are four aspects to the definition. So first aspect is Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi. So this body, that whatever we have, whatever is visible to all of us, it is made up of the Pancha Mahabhutas. So space, water, air, fire, Agni, Prithvi. Okay. So Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. And what is the reason? How did this come about? Oh, because of Satkarma Janyam. So you may think you are a papi, like you have done lot of papa, or others say that, oh my God, you have done so many wrong things. But no, you have done just the right combination of papa karma along with punya karma, so that you got this fantastic body. So this gross body is born of punya. It is satkarma janyam. What else is the description of this gross body? Sukha dukkhadi bhoga ayatanam shariram. It is an ayatanam, it is an abode for what? The experience of sukha and dukkha. So naturally, you sit in a particular position for a very long time, then you will get some aches and pains. Or you are used to a particular temperature, and then you happen to live in a place where the climate is equitable. Or you switch on the air conditioning. Uh, then you go to Chennai in May, then maybe there might be little experience of dukkha. So a lot of things are experienced in the body. Sukha dukkha all the time. This is our abode of that experience. So then if I say, oh, but I should not feel like this. My body should not feel like this. You are going against the definition of the gross body, because the body is supposed to go through experiences of sukha and dukkha. Then what else happens to this gross body? Well, it has sixfold modifications. So it is born, I mean, it exists, of course. And then it is born. Remember, there are a few months when everything is dark and all being looked after by the mother. So then it comes into the world, jayate, then vardhate, uh, going to school, this, that, the other, grows. And then all these different kinds of changes happen. So the son will start to twirl one mooch and then grow the beard. So viparinamate, all these different changes happen. Apakshiyate, so decay. Some decay happens. You get accessories like spectacles, hearing aid, and so on. And then finally, vinashyati, dies. This is what every gross body will go through. This is Shatvikara, sixfold modifications. And etat sthula shariyam, this is the gross body. Okay. So this is a definition and almost a description of the gross body. If you say, no, but the body should not die. Well, you have not understood what the body is. That's why you are saying it. Any person's body, whether it is an elephant or a human being or an insect or a plant, it will go through these changes. You cannot avoid it. You cannot escape it. This is the Sharira Dharma. It is a dharma of the body, the nature of the body. Okay. Is that all? No, no, no. There is the Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma meaning it's not visible. It's very subtle. Doesn't have dimensions in that sense. But you can, let's look at what the definition is. So Sukshma Shariram Kim apanchikrita pancha mahabhutaihi. So this space, water, air, fire, etc. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. They have their tan matras, meaning they are subtler, uh, subtler aspects, or rather, um, before they become the gross form that we experience, they have a subtler counterpart. So therefore, it is ungrossified, apanchikrita, and it's subtle. Okay. Then what else? So this subtle body that we are supposed to be having, that is also born of satkarma janyam. Okay, also born of the right actions of punya karma of previous lifetimes, and sukha dukkhadi bhoga sadhanam. So the gross body was sthula sharira, and referred to as the ayatanam, the abode, but the sadhanam, the instrument for us to experience sukha and dukkha, is the sukshma sharira, the subtle body. What does it consist of? 17 parts. What are these? Pancha jnanendriyani, the five sense organs of knowledge. Uh, these are the eyes. I mean, this is such a beautiful word. Okay, sense organs don't have so much sense as compared to jnanendriyani. Okay, so indriyani for jnanam. How beautiful that when you open your eyes, you look at the world, you see all kinds of sights. It is the jnanam, the knowledge of sights. And then your ears are open, knowledge of sounds and knowledge of tastes. So the tongue, and then the nose, knowledge of all kinds of smells and fragrances. So if you walk into a mall, then as you pass certain shops, you will get some fragrance. Then of course, if you are living in Mumbai and if you're traveling by train, you come to a place which is like just after Mahim, and then maybe your eyes are closed because you're having a nap in the train, and then Mahim has come because you are smelling whatever you smell. Okay, so this is amazing knowledge of smells and fragrances, of course, tastes, and then skin knowledge of different kinds of touch, texture, and so on. So the capacity for this kind of knowledge is there in the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body. What else? Pancha Karmendriyani. Again, the capacity for karma is there in the subtle body. Can I see the subtle body? No. You can, but you cannot. In the sense, the subtle body pervades the gross body. That's why the word we have used is subtle. Okay, the capacity for organs of action. So even this word, karmendriya, that by the way you use these organs, and we'll come to that, we are gaining punya papa. Very beautiful word. So our hands, what we grasp, what we do with our hands, um, just chanting Rudram, part of puja. There is towards the in the last Anuvaka, Ayam me hasto Bhagavan, Ayam me Bhagavattaraha. So Ayam me hastaha, that in this hand, I see you, Rudra, and I think it's from this understanding that Sikhism has got that kada. They wear this thing to remind themselves that whatever I do, may I do the right thing. So you look at the kada, oh, am I going to do the right thing, or oh, no, no, let me do the right thing. So such a blessing that okay, our hands, our legs, our mouth. So it's interesting. The sense organ and the organ of action both are here. What you say, what you don't say, you can make and break relationships. We have all experienced this. And then the organ of evacuation and the genital organ. All these are pancha karmendriyani. Then pancha pranas. So we will look at it later on. But the different it's not respiratory processes. Prana is prana only. But there is prana all over in the body. And depending on the function that it is performing, it gets a certain name. So, apana, vyana, udana, samana, and so on. Okay. These are different processes in the body, including, of course, respiration, capacity for that. And manaha. Okay. Sukshma Sharira includes the manaha. So when it is said mano, buddhi, ahankaara, chittani, daham, when Shankara says that, what he is really saying is, I am not the subtle body. So we'll come to that. So subtle body means the manas. Here manaha and buddhi are used. In the Vedic tradition, we look upon the antakarana, the mind, as having these fourfold functions. Okay, do not think of them as components. So one function is the should I do this? Should I not do this? Sankalpa vikalpa makaha. So this the vacillating bit or desires and so on. I mean, it's important. The manas is very important. Buddhi takes a decision, whatever the manaha throws up. Should I paint the walls white or cream? So Buddhi says, no, no, let's go with cream. It will go with all other colors. Okay. Buddhi is the deciding function. And then you think, oh, well, actually, last time we had our walls as white, and then it's so difficult to maintain in a polluted city, and then especially when you have a lot of people coming in and to wear their shoes at the near the door, they very liberally touch the wall, and so you have the wall with everyone's handprint and so on. No, no, let us not paint the walls white. So you called upon your chittam. Chittam is not mentioned here, but it is meant. And the ahankaara that holds it all together. All these are saptadasha kalabhihi. Sukshma shariram. Sukshma sharira pervades the gross body, which we saw. This, of course, we have seen. Skip this. And for the karmendriyani, that means the organs of action, as well as the jnanendriyani, organs of knowledge, there are devatas that are presiding over them. Okay. Then finally, what is the reason for the gross and the subtle body? Karana shariram. Karanam, so causal. What is that? Anirvachya anadi avidya rupam. So the definition is only that it cannot be defined. What a way to define something. So it is so you know it's it is all it cannot be definitely spoken of. It is anirvachya, and it is anadi avidya rupam, this causal body, which you if even if you try to visualize, you can just imagine, like some tiniest form. uh, it is in the form of avidya, and sorry, it and what else? It is anadi. When did it happen? Oh, it's since beginningless time. And what about it? It is sharira dvayasya karanam matram. It is this causal body that is the cause for the gross and the subtle body. What else? You said it's avidya rupam, but ignorance about what? Ignorance about chat GPT, or ignorance about cryptocurrency? What? No, no. Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. So Ajnanam about what one's true nature is. And that is the reason, the cause for the both having the sukshma, the subtle body, as well as the gross body. And what else about it? Well, it is free from duality, free from any kind of division. Yadasti tat karana sharira. Okay. So although one has the karana shariram, because there is avidya, ignorance, then we have no hope. No, no, we have hope. Why? Because although ignorance was beginningless, It can come to an end with what? With knowledge. So, what is important to note is, after having looked through these three shariras, and I repeat, we don't have three bodies, okay? Like Ravana had 10 heads, so we don't have three bodies. It's almost like one within another within another. But understand Karana Sharira, the cause of both Sthula and Sukshma. Sukshma Sharira pervades the subtle body, pervades the gross body. Now, what is unique about all these Shariras, especially Sthula and Sukshma, is that they have both have dimensions, and the gross body, which is a living testimony to the Sukshma and the Karana Sharira, it is seen, it is experienced. You talk to the person, right? See, you may not know what's going on in the other person's mind. So you may not have so much understanding of one part of the other person's Sukshma Sharira. But you are talking to the person can be experienced. And that's how we have all our experiences. Then the body is made up of material, and so is the Sukshma Sharira. So it's all Sattva, Rajas, Tamas anyway. And this is what is meant in terms of being really materialistic. Okay. We are all materialistic in the sense that for us, material is reality. And materialism, of course, conventionally has come to mean wealth and so on. But as long as you believe you are material, you know, you are materialistic. I mean, that's my way of looking at it. That is all. And then material. So some of you will say, no, no, I am energy and God is energy and so on. Hey, hello, matter and energy are interconvertible. So we have learned this in school science. Matter converts into energy, energy converts into matter, and both cannot be destroyed, right? So you have accumulated a lot of matter now because Diwali just went by. So, a lot of sweets and so on and so forth. Then you are huffing and puffing in the park so that you can expend some energy. But all the time, this play of bhutaha bhautikatvam of this gross body goes on. Then naturally the body has many, many qualities. So body mind, yeah. I'm talking about you as a person. So in terms of physical features, uh, it's all fascinating to see the kind of color that one has. And if we're looking biologically, the different parameters, so hemoglobin and electrolytes and so on, or your qualities in terms of compassion or kindness, um, achievement orientation, and so on. So these are all gunas, properties that are subject to changing. So all the body, mind has the quality of constantly going through savikaraha, changing. And different aspects of the body are subject to coming and going. So our thoughts also, they come, agama. Agama, of course, also is referring to the Veda. But here we are talking about agama and apai. They come, they go. So birth and death happen to the body, gross body. Okay. Gross body means obviously subtle body is involved until knowledge takes place. So this is very, very important to remember whenever you're doing any text of Vedanta. Atma is Thula Sukshma Karana Sharira Vyatiriktaha, other than it, but and Atma all along is Chidananda Rupaha. We will see what that means. But the uh, the ahankaara, the ego, the I identifies Sthula Sharira Abhimani. That person is called Jiva. On the other hand, Atma, I am adrishyam. I cannot be seen. Why I want to see the Atma? If it cannot be seen, then how can you see? You are Atma. You know what we can see is the body, but the fact that we can see something, we can see a form, that you, the Atma, is really the basis of all your experiences. Atma is abhautika, is not made up of the five elements. It is not material. It is not energy also. Please do not call Atma energy, because then you have not understood matter. You have not understood energy, and this thing really matters. Okay. So it is that from which all the Pancha Mahabhutas have come, we will see. And Atma, that is you, is nirguna, is free from all gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. At the same time, is present in and through all gunas. Of course, Atma is nirvikara, unchanging, and at the same time, present through all the changes. So, Atma, that is you, is Satyam, uh, always existing, and there is no event for it called birth and death. Okay, now with this background, we can finally enter Nirvana Shatkam. Okay. Mano bodhyahankara chittani naham na cha shrotra jibhe na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhube na tejo na vayu chidananda Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidanandarupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. I will refer to the verse from time to time, okay, and also so that you are able to see it. So continuing, the manaha, the buddhi, ahankaara, chitta. First line. All referring to different aspects of our thinking. So, what is being said here is, I am not all of this. Now, one thing we need to note in Sanskrit or Sanskritam, when the word na is used, na, so in English we will say not. The meaning in Sanskritam is little different. In fact, there are 6 ways in which, or 6 interpretations of na. So, na aham, I am not. We can use it in the context of abhava, that means absence. So, I am not a monkey. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Although somebody may say, no, no, you are a monk, or maybe you are a monkey, or whatever it is. Okay, so whatever people want to say, that is their business. What can I do? Huh? So, abhavaha, absence. Okay, it can be used in that sense, or it can be used in the sense of alpata, incomplete or little bit. So if you say, oh, see the sa anudari kanya. So I'm describing a girl, and the description is, she doesn't have a stomach. Suppose I say, anudari. What? She has an udara. Udara means she has a stomach. But if you say, no, no, she doesn't have a stomach. What I mean is she has a very, I mean, she's a very slim person, not a part-bellied person. So there also I can use akara, like to indicate na. Uh, and I can also use it in the context of anyatva, that I am not this. I am, or rather, like we were looking at the definition of the Atma, I am other than. Yeah. So when we say I am not the mind, it doesn't mean the mind is absent. Huh? It's like saying I don't have a tongue. Hello, you spoke with your tongue. So how can you say I don't have a tongue? Huh, but when I'm saying that, I am not meaning absence. This is very important because people do not understand this nakara, na, and then they get into problems of dissociation. Okay, so I will talk more about that. So there are other meanings. For now, we just need to know this, that this na can be used in many senses. And here it means when I'm saying manaha, na aham, I am not my mind, not the mind. I'm saying I am other than the mind. Okay, but the mind belongs to me. Yeah, sure, of course it belongs to you. We're not denying it. We don't want your mind. We are very happy with our own minds. Thank you very much. So then we have to see, well, why are you using the word na? What is the problem? So we go back to what we understood about the mind. Hmm? So this manas, which is the desire, sankalpa vikalpatmakaha, the vacillating aspect of your mind, the function that throws up different kinds of desires, your imagination, all very beautiful, and the intellect and the memory and the ahankara. So ahankara is what holds it all together, self-concept. Ahankara is not pride, okay? In regional languages, maybe we may use the word, isko bahut ahankar hai. So we may use it in the sense of pride. In Sanskritam, aham karoti iti ahankara, I do, therefore I am. So some sort of self-identity, which is what needs enquiry. So some sort of self-concept. I am not all of these functions of the mind. How you are saying like that? See, even the word is such a beautiful, revealing word, antakarana. Antakarana means inner instrument. Antaha, inner, karana, instrument. Instrument can only be used by someone, karta, doer. And the word itself says that it cannot function by itself. But whether we call it knowledge economy or the world we are living in, we are not living life, we are living our mind. Whatever the mind says, we somehow believe it is true and we believe that is the reality. And as a result of which, a long time ago, Descartes said in so many words, I think, therefore I am. And a Vedantin will say, I am, therefore I doubt your statement. Correct? All thinking and whatever else comes only after I am. So, who is this aham? Who is this I? We have seen that all this manas, buddhi, the mind, the intellect, the memory, even the self concept, it is subject to changing. It is subject to, because it is made up of gunas, and it is made up of the Pancha Mahabhutas. So for us to register all these different changes, who is saying all this? No, no, I am saying. Ah, correct. I am saying. So what does this mean? That all that is changing, all that is made up of the gunas, all that is necessary for transaction, for interaction, all that is made up of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five great elements. What about them? Well, we give it a term called mithya. So, mithya is not illusion or delusion. If you say that, it is an illusion and delusion. Mithya is mithya only. What it means is, it is pointing to your understanding of reality. There is no mithya object, there is no mithya property floating somewhere. What is your understanding of something? And that your understanding of something is that yes, these exist, that yes, the mind, the manas, the buddhi, the ahankaara, the chittam, all of that, they exist, but they have not invented themselves. They are not self evident. They are not self existent. They are made of pancha mahabhutas. They are subject to changing. And as a result of which, we understand them to be dependent on something that is self existent. What is that? Aham. Hey? You said ahankara is dependent. Yes, and you are saying aha. Wait. We're coming to that. Aham, when I say I am in whichever language, you may say it with your mouth, okay? But actually, even before you say it, you already have a very clear knowledge that I am. Suppose I ask you, how do you know you are? When was the first time you got to know you exist? You'll say, as soon as I was born, right? But you didn't have language. Ah, no, but there's some reflex, no? Sucking reflex that sets in that time, that I am this, and then there is this mother that is other than me. That much knowledge the baby had. Was it taught, you exist? No. Of course, people celebrated the birth of the baby, but we don't need any means of knowledge to know that I exist. I exist. I am self evident, and everything else becomes known to me. This is aham. And because we don't know what this aham I is, which is really the limitless being, then because we have to interact with society, we have all these relationships, duties, actions to perform, we uh, are forced to make conclusions about ourselves. So, this famous actor who wanted to also try theater, He said, let me challenge myself. See, because when you are shooting films, you have the opportunity for a lot of take and retake. But to perform in a play, a full 1.5 hour play where you are the main lead, remembering all the dialogues, and of course, emoting is not easy. Okay, I'm going to take up this challenge. So this actor trains for the part, and then, the day arrives when they are going to screen the play for the first time. And as a part of the play, the actor has to get into a fight scene. So the actor is actually playing the role of a beggar. And so it's totally now dressed according to the part, and all the makeup has also been done in that way. Some prosthetic teeth have also been added, some teeth have been knocked out, and so on. And as a part of one of the scenes, the beggar is supposed to get one slap. So the scene unfolds and the beggar is slapped really hard. Then one day later, beggar wakes up in the hospital and does not remember. Okay. So after whatever, is unconscious for some time, and then uh, opens his eyes and looks around and sees, this is very unusual setting. I don't, where, and ask the most fundamental questions, where am I? Who am I? What am I doing here? And then looks at himself, looks around as well. And he's still dressed in the garb of a beggar. He looks at the reflection of his face in, some of the mirrors that are there. And he says, I am dressed like a beggar. I must be a beggar. Hmm? So I happen to have a body. I happen to have a mind. I must be the body and mind, is our conclusion. Okay. What I am associated with must be me. Conclusion. Wrong conclusion. Why? Because body is changing, mind is changing all the time. You just take one single day. How many changes take place in the body? We don't know actually. A lot of things you are putting inside, eating, drinking, even fasting. Suppose you are doing intermittent fasting. Still, so many processes taking place in the body. Then, from the time you wake up and you touch your phone, and then phone calls, messages, emails, working from home, going to work, interacting with different people, so many changes mind is going through. So all that is changing. And there is something that is registering the changes. And that is aham. So further, he says that I am other than all of this. Because all of this has the status of being changing, not self-existent, and perhaps mithya. Okay? What else does he say? He says, I am not the ears, na cha shrotra, na jibhe, the tongue, nor the grana, the nose, nor the netre, nor the eyes. Meaning what? In just one line, he is saying, I am other than the gross body. First line, I am other than the subtle body. Second line, I am other than the gross body. Third line, Na cha vyoma bhumihi na tejo na vayuhu. I am not space, I am not bhumi, the earth, I am not tejaha, agni, I am not vayu, air. Space is space, we have already space, earth, uh, yeah. And also water is as though included, okay? So here there is a reference to the Jagat. See, understand that we are caught up with different identities, right? So our identities are formed by where I was born, gender. Now, of course, all that is becoming fluid and kind of a problem, okay? Um, so Supreme Court thankfully referred it, in the context of same-sex marriages. Um, I mean, just by the way, I was watching a documentary called "What Is a Woman," and if you haven't seen it, you must watch it. You can search for it. So this question is asked to surgeons and doctors, academics, politicians, and so on. And because the theme that is being explored is identity. So then somebody says, suppose I think of myself, no, suppose you think of yourself as a cat, okay? Then should I treat you like a cat? So the person says, of course, after all, it's all what I believe I myself to be. Okay, uh, fine, I'll treat you like a cat. So it was, of course, in the context of gender identity, but what we believe about ourselves, we consider it to be reality. And honestly, one belief can be replaced by another belief. There was someone who says, no, no, all along I have been male. Now suddenly, after or whatever, after a few months, the person says, no, no, I am female. And I insist you treat me like I am a female. And that is my reality. Now, who is to argue with this person? All this comes into the picture when legal rights are involved, and then it can become quite messy. But anyway, that's besides the point. What I'm highlighting is what we believe ourselves to be based on gender, nationality, uh, the language we speak, the place we belong to, the company we belong to, the company we have, our likes, dislikes, and so on. We believe that to be reality. And for us, uh, Vedanta is so clear that reality is that which can never be negated. It's not that, oh yeah, for now, this is my reality. Later, we shall see what happens. No, reality is that which always exists, cannot be negated. So then, when I say, mano buddhi ahankaara chittani naham, na cha shrotra jivhe, na cha ghrana netre, I am saying I am other than the body and mind. Okay, then what else? Then what are you really speaking? Well, okay. I am not space and water and so on, okay, all the Pancha Mahabhutas. So now what is that referring to? It's these are the five building blocks of our creation, of our Srishti. And Taittiriya Upanishad reminds us, Brahma Vida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanamanantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman. Brahmavid apnoti param. The one who knows Brahman gains Brahman. So then the question is, what is this Brahman? So what this Brahman is? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Brahma. What? 3 words? I asked you what is Brahman. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. The Upanishad is saying 3 words are being pointed to one limitless entity, Brahman. Okay, let Brahman be whatever it is. How does that matter to me? Oh, the one who knows gains the limitless. Now I'm interested. Further, the Upanishad says, the one who knows, yo veda nihitam, guhayam, parame vyoman, the one who knows that as the core of I, that person knows the truth. Brahmana vipaschitete. Okay. And what else? Then there's a very nice line in the mantra. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agnerapah adbhyah prithvi prithivyamoshadhayaha oshadhibhyonnam annat purushaha. So from that Brahman, that is the limitless, tasmad va, which is also referred to as the Atman, Atma, Akashaha Sambhutaha. Akasha, space came. Akashad Vayuhu, from space came air. From air came Agni, Vayor Agnihi. Rapaha, from Agni fire came water. Adbhyav Prithivi, from water came Prithivi, the earth. The earth or solid tangible matter. Prithivyamoshadayaha, all the plants came from Prithvi. So lovely word for plants. Because plants is medicine for the disease called hunger. So Oshadhi, Aushadham, medicine. So Oshadhi Bhyo Annam, from these plants came food, and from food came Purushaha, the person. Okay. So this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, from that came all these 5 building blocks of creation. So what is this Brahman? And it's also said that the one who knows that as I, yo veda nihitam guhaya, parame vyoman, in the space of the heart. So, I is located, it is sitting in the heart. No, it is an upalakshana. It is to indicate where you consider I. So if we are traveling across cultures and trying to see what are similarities across world cultures, the word for I may be different, but when people are looking at body language, you know what? If you say I, you don't say I, you don't say I, you say I. We all point to the region of the heart. Have we all been taught this? No, this is Upalabdhi Sthana. So I is everywhere, but as though, as though location. So the core of me, the core of the person, I, the one who recognizes that I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. So Brahman, the word, Brahad dhatu, vridhau, big. The big. Big generally is an adjective, and we may precede a noun with the word big. So we will say, oh, big mosquito, big mountain. Now, we know that all mosquitoes, they will only have some size, okay, like little small. Small means according to our us. So, in the world of mosquitoes, big mosquito means just that much. Big mountain. So, of course, for us, Mount Everest is the highest mountain, at least here. So, big mountain we will look at, relatively speaking, in that context. So, now when you're saying that Brahman is the big, how big? Limitlessly big. There is no, it is anantam. There is no antaha. There is no boundary for this Brahman. Okay, let Brahman be whatever it is, how does it matter to me? That Brahman is you. That tasmat bhai, tasmat, from that Brahman, that is the Atma, came all of this. So you or I, Atma, is Brahman. Brahman is not na antaha. There is no end. End meaning limitless. No, no, but I am sitting here in the chair. What you are referring to is the gross body. Remember what we looked at earlier? That is Atma is other than the gross body. Okay, what else? That Brahman is Satyam. Satya means that which exists in all three periods of time. Do you know of such a person? Do you know of anything? Maybe the earth? No, no. Geologists, scientists, they all say it's for billions of years, billions, trillions of years. Okay, fine. That means it still has a finite number. Big Bang? Nah, that's not Satyam. Uh, a space. Space, everything happened in space. That is Satyam. No, Satyam means existence, okay? But understand Satyam as Satyam only. So, existence. I think space. No, but we already said space has come from that Brahman, that is the Atma, that is you. Okay. So, so what? Brahman is existence, which is the Atma. That means you have always existed in all three periods of time. No, but I have date of birth, date of death. See, which I are we talking about? We said that is that date of birth, date of death, and all the changes in between, represented by that tiny dash. They are all happening to the gross body. You are other than the gross body, correct? So, but maybe, if you say Satyam, existence in all three periods of time, maybe it's, can I see it? No. Why I can't see? Because it is in and through everything. Okay. Um, then maybe it's nothing. No. Maybe it's inert. Like space is inert, it's jadam. Maybe it's inert. Maybe it's just shunyam. No, 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 no. It is jnanam. Jnanam, knowledge. So we all know of knowledge of something. I have knowledge of how to make bisibele. One khichdi like thing in Karnataka. Or I don't know how to make bisibele. So then I know that I have ignorance of making this particular dish, right? So you have knowledge of different disciplines, and you also have knowledge of what you don't know. But this is jnanam, because of which I know and I don't know. So that which illumines everything. So, for instance, suppose I ask you, what do you see? Suppose, are you looking at me? What do you see? So you will say, okay, Swamini is here. There is a plant and the image of the Guru Parampara, a brick wall, etc. You didn't mention light. The Swamini form is an object of your awareness. The brick wall is also an object of your awareness, and the other things. But all of this is seen in the light that is also an object of your awareness, but you missed saying the light, correct? So that which always is in and through all forms, that because of which things are known, jnanam. So to knock off the limitation of the word satyam, because we might think of that which exists in all three periods of time as something that is jadam, inert. We use the word jnanam to indicate consciousness or a being that is consciousness, that which is which is self-illumining, because of which everything is known, and that which has no limits. So that which exists in all three periods of time, that which is consciousness, that which has no limits, that is you, that is Brahman. Okay, I don't see that exactly, because you are focused on the body and mind, and we have seen that body mind, which is what he has negated earlier, is that which is experienced, that which is made of material, that which is changing, that which has qualities, that which comes and goes. So we used a word for it called mithya. So I am Satyam, and all of this, I use it, I use the body mind for whatever are the valid pursuits. But I am much more than all of this. In fact, I am in and through all of this. So in the third line, when he's saying, I am not space, I'm not these five building blocks, pointing to the Jagat, the world. Further in Taittiriya Upanishad, he says, यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते येन जातानि जीवन्ति यत्प्रयन्त्यभिसंविशन्ति तत् विजिज्ञासस्व तद् ब्रह्मेति. So another definition of Brahman is given. The same thing is reflected in the four sutras, Chatusutri of Brahma Sutra. While referring to Brahman, along with Maya Shakti, we give another word, Ishvara. So that Brahman from which all this, Imani Bhutani, all these living beings have come, and by which all these Yena Jatani Jivanti, all these beings are sustained, and at some point in time they all resolve into that is Brahman. So when Shankaracharya is saying, I am not space and all of these, water, air, referring to what has made up the Jagat, he is saying that I am not this manifestation. He is referring to Samashti. So there are two words we want to note: Vyashti and Samashti. Vyashti means individual, and Samashti is the total. First two lines referring to Vyashti, the individual. You cannot use the word individual without considering it as a subset of the total, correct? And total, of course, is made up of so many individuals and so on. So, what this Samashti is, Samashti total, made up of all these building blocks of Akasha, Agni, Apa, Vayu, Prithvi, space, water, air, fire, and earth. Did it manifest by itself? They said, hey, let's all come together, let's have a party, and let's just form ourselves. No, all of them have been intelligently put together. It has all come from Brahman. How do we know? The Shastra reveals to us what we don't know. And we have Shraddha in the Shastra. We have trust. If you are new to Vedanta, then it will be working trust. In time, that trust develops because you see the glory of the Shastra. You see it cannot be any different. You see it as a means of knowledge. And just like initially, when you are exposed to another person, you get to know a person, then little by little you trust. Total trust doesn't come on day one. So if the person says certain things to you that are helpful to you, that are of value to you, and you apply it in your life, or the person is there for you for any answer or any question you have, then your trust develops. Same thing with the Shastra. So the mantras that you chant, which are all different forms of devatas, the meditations that you do, which are all coming somewhere or the other from some Shastra, and also the Veda, the understanding of the framework of karma, punya, papa, the knowledge of Swarga, all this makes such a big difference in our lives. The understanding of dharma being the basis for all pursuits, and how the voice of dharma is in everyone's heart, and that is what truly makes us happy. All of this knowledge and so much more is given to us by the Shastra. And this Shastra reveals to us that, all these five building blocks, it's all intelligence, and the entire material that you see, that you experience, all that is Brahman. So very much like Urna Nabhi, like a spider. So the beauty of a spider, even if you are scared of a spider, is that the material to construct the web comes from the spider. The spider does not say, oh, Deepavali shopping I have to do. Maybe there will be still some spare parts left in these home decor shops. Let me go shopping and get some material to make a web. Nothing. Material comes from me. Then spider does not even have to think. Which architect shall we consult? Because the web that is made has to be strong, and it has to be able to capture a lot of my food. So maybe we have to construct dining table or something. No, nothing. The intelligence comes from the spider. So we just need one example as an exception to disprove the rule that material and intelligence of a creation have to be different. In other words, the spider demonstrates to us that both the material and the intelligence, there is one singular source. And this example is cited so that we are able to appreciate that wherever there is manifestation, wherever there is form, there is intelligence and material, which are all put together in the context of laws of nature. And there alone is Brahman Ishvara. Ishvara is just another word for Brahman when we are speaking of Brahman in the context of the form that is Jagat or the world. So if your loved one calls you, nowadays baby is very popular, so says baby, sweetheart, whatever, muddu or something, my love, etc. They are three different words, okay, but referring to the same person. So Brahman or Ishvara, two words, same to same, okay. But with respect to the Jagat, the world, we use the word Ishvara. So when Acharya is saying, I am not the space, I'm not space and all of this, all the other bhutas. Bhuta meaning the other elements, okay, the great elements. What he's saying is, I am not the form, I am much more than the form. I am in and through the form. It's like saying, the wave, okay, the wave in the ocean is a form, correct? So if you see what is this wave, wave is a form. What is it made up of? Water. Can it exist without the water? No chance. So if the wave says, I am water, will the wave be punished for that? How can you say you are the water? You are just a little form. Little or big. I do not exist without water, correct? So what is being said here is, I am the water, meaning I am the basis, I am the reality of all these forms that exist. The forms are changing. The forms are made of gunas. The forms are mithya. And where there is mithya, there is satyam. So the wave form has come from where? From me. I am water. Okay. And in this particular form, in this particular manifestation, I get a word called wave. So first two lines, I am not the wave. Meaning, I am not dismissing my mind. I am not dismissing the body. I am not escaping the body. I am not escaping the mind. I am only saying that my reality is much more than all of this. In fact, I am water. I am that which exists always. So, last line of the first verse, and which is the refrain all the way, is Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Shivoham Shivoham is repeated twice. So, Shivoham is Shiva Aham. And therefore, because of Sandhi rule, it becomes Shivoham. Now, to say that I am Shiva, either you have to be foolish, or you have to be arrogant, or you have to be enlightened. So, what is the case here? So, Shiva, we all pray to. Huh? Or some people pray, some people say, no, Vishnu is better, and so on. So, whatever it is, at least Shiva is recognized as Ishvara. So to say, I am Shiva, like, have you had a drink like on a Saturday morning or what? No drink or any such besides water. To say I am Aham Shivaha, what is the position Acharya is taking? Because to us, Shiva or Vishnu or Devi is the one who is all knowledge, the one who has put everything together, who is the material for this Srishti. And that is the uniqueness of this land, this sacred geography, that you can look upon Arunachala as Shiva. And very soon now, everybody will be doing Girivalam on Purnima. So this land is so beautiful and so sacred that you can look upon a form, Shivalinga, one entire mountain or Kailasa as Shiva. Then you can look upon Shiva as the Pancha Mahabhutas. So there in Tamil Nadu, you have different temples where space is looked upon as a form of Shiva, Chidambaram, then as Agni in Tiruvannamalai and so on, different beautiful temples you must visit if you haven't. All are being looked upon as Shiva. Then if Acharya is saying I am Shiva, what exactly it means? I'm not on this mountain or the one who made all of this. The two words before, chidananda rupaha, that is revealing the nature of Shiva. So the function of resolution, or if you are praying to Shiva as Dakshinamurti and so on, Brahman gets a name Shiva with respect to the function that is performed. But what is the Swarupa, the nature? What is intrinsic to Shiva is intrinsic to me. That about me which is unchanging, which is not a quality, which is always there, which is self-evident, because of which everything else becomes evident to me. That unchanging chit ananda aham. So chit word is pointing to jnanam, knowledge, that because of which everything is known. So when I know different objects, okay, so this glass or book, so glass consciousness, book consciousness or awareness, different objects, body consciousness, mind consciousness, they all become aware to me. And in every evidence, there is isness, consciousness, that is I, that is the Atma. So this entire world, which is a form, you can say Maha form, okay, because it has forms and so many other forms and permutations and combinations and all of that. What does it come from? Brahman. What is Brahman? Chidananda. Chit, consciousness that has no boundaries. Ananda. How you are using the word Ananda? Ananda is a word to refer to Ananta. Ananta means no boundaries. And we will see more about an inquiry into Ananda in the next verse. But here, Shivoham, Shivoham, I am Shiva, I am Shiva, repeated twice for emphasis, that what is my reality, unchanging reality, is Chit Ananda. That means I am never away from the Atma Chidananda while having body mind and doing whatever else the body mind does. I am never away from Chidananda. What is Chidananda is my true nature. I was never born, I can never die naturally. I am unchanging, I don't have any gunas, I am not made of material, I cannot be experienced because every experience, when you truly analyze it, it comes and it goes. And if indeed self knowledge or enlightenment was an experience, then okay, 2 minutes self enlightenment. Okay, now I am enlightened. And then it went, it was an experience, what to do. So, oh, you were enlightened for 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minute enlightenment. You can add it in your CV. Of course, people will think you are crazy, but of course, don't do that. Huh? So, uh, the jnanam that you are is not subject to time because you are the timeless. So then, what has Acharya done? He has said all that he has not, and then he declares what he really is. That all that was mistaken to be me, I am not all that, meaning I am other than that. And wherever these forms exist, I am not dismissing it, I am not denying it. They exist. In my mind, it's very clear they are mithya. And all that is useful in this entire world is mithya. Rather, all that you can experience, you can interact with is mithya. And we have no problem with mithya. Okay, so we have no problem with a beautiful sunset. Although we know that the sun never sets, we don't have a problem with a sunrise because we know the sun doesn't rise. Here we have assimilated knowledge, correct? And then, thank God, according to sunrise, sunset, our Panchanga gets made, and not only for today, but for years, hundreds of years later, also, we can predict according to the time and so on and so forth. So, it is useful, it is valid. We do not run away from mithya because you cannot run away from it, so to speak. The reason being, you are that Satyam. That is what is a declaration that I am that Shiva. That while I continue to have this body mind, I am much more than all of this. They are all instruments to be used by me. And the Shiva that I pray to, and I have been praying to for all this while, really speaking, there is no separation from me and Shiva. I am that. Who is what? Who is Chidananda Rupaha? Shivoham, Shivoham. Okay. Let's look at let's see, the second shloka. So the first session we are, this one, right? Yeah. I've taken some time to establish the foundation, and then we'll move, a lot more faster. So we're looking at the second verse. न च प्राणसंयो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. The melody is so beautiful, it creates a lovely sense of absorption. So now what else is the Acharya saying? The first line referring to both Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, gross and the subtle body, the prana, that which is called prana. And here we refer to Pancha Prana or Pancha Vayu. I am not any of them. Why? Because prana belongs to the Sharira, to the body mind. And what are these? So the health, the well-being of the body mind depends on the movement of Vayu across. So today being a Saturday, we pray to Shani Devata, we also pray to Hanumanji. So Vayu Putra, for us, Vayu is not just uh, air. This is a really bad translation, but it's a working translation. We use it. But Vayu is presided over by Devata, you know, uh, and Devata is responsible for Vati iti Vayu, for it moving. So this prana in the system, it takes on different manifestations. So of course, prana, if in the context of Panchavayu, referring to respiration, then there is apana, which is an outward, a downward movement responsible for evacuation. Then samana prana, where the movement of the prana is spiral and is helpful for digestion. Um, I've always wondered, I mean, at least as a child, I used to wonder that how, although we are lying down, suppose you eat, okay, and then you are lying down, then how the food is moving in the stomach. It was only when I came across, the explanation of prana in the system that it all made sense. Because according to gravity, maybe there should be no movement if the body is horizontal. Of course, this is all childlike thinking. But because of prana, it all makes sense. This samana prana is responsible for digestion. Of course, we are not denying all the other digestive juices and all the other processes that are taking place in the body, but so crucial. Then Vyana is the outward movement for circulation, and Udana is your upward movement, also the last breath the person takes. So responsible for speech, also vomiting, and so on. So different aspects of the body mind, the energy levels that one has, the identity that one builds on the basis of body mind. Acharya Singh, I am not that. I am other than that. Okay, what else? I am not even this body. We already saw what that Sthula Sharira is. Then the components of the Sthula Sharira in the context of Ayurveda are mentioned here. So these Sapta Dhatu are rasa. I mean, these are all like closest English translations. Really speaking, there aren't great English translations, but for now, working translations. Okay. So rasa, which is like the plasma, rakta, of course, we know is blood, mamsa is muscle, meda, fat, asti, bone. So we say, after the body is cremated, asti visarjan. So because some of the asti is collected and then we immerse it, then majja, bone marrow, and then shukra is the reproductive fluid. So sapta dhatu. I am not the panchakosha. Panchakosha we will come to. Uh, Five kosha is like a sheath. So five levels of errors that we make about our identities. I am not that. Okay. What else? Uh, Third line referring to organs of action. So I am not vak, the speech, whatever I say, or my hands or my feet, nor am I the genital organ, nor am I the anus. So all the five organs of action are being mentioned here, pointing to the identity as doer, karta. Okay, all that we write in our CV, okay, your biodata or manufactured data nowadays, people, I'm told that companies uh, have to do a background check because they can't fully believe all that is written in a person's CV. So all that you manage to do, your achievements and where you worked, what you did, etc., etc. Or even when you meet another person, then you say, "Oh, what do you do?" So you say, "Okay, I am a lawyer." Let's say, "What, liar?" No, no, I am a lawyer. Oh, okay. Uh, and suppose if you just want to have some fun, so you practice law. Yes. You practice it like 24/7? No, no, only when I'm working. Oh, okay. But you said I am a lawyer. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. That's what I do. Uh, do you have a family? Yes, of course. How many children? Two. You spend time with your children? Yes. Oh, that means you have other roles as well. That means, the practice of law is one part of what you do. Ah, that's true. So the third line indicating organs of action, referring to the identity as karta, as a doer. There are times between two actions that you are not the doer, and there are times when you are not doing, when you are deep sleeping, when you are in deep sleep, even if you are kicking someone, that is not consciously kicking someone. So you are not doing anything, the mind is resolved. And what is changing cannot be you. So the Acharya is saying that I am not the doer. By saying I am not the speech, I am not this. The doer is me. I am not the doer. Okay, both these things have to be understood clearly. So, can I deny that I did these actions? Can I say in the court of law, suppose I have been summoned? I am not the doer. I have not done these actions. They will say, okay, please call a psychiatrist. Obviously, because you take responsibility for your actions. But in the context of Vedanta, in the context of reality, that I am much more than all this. In fact, I am that chidananda. I am that consciousness that is in and through all the forms. Oh, but I don't feel like that because you have made an error on the basis of I equals to mind. This is what we refer to as manomaya kosha. So, you know, the second line, I am not the pancha koshas, is the levels of mistakes that we make according to certain identities. So, Annamaya Kosha. Kosha is a sheath as though cover. Okay. Some people will say they will draw, these five layers as if Atma is sitting inside. You localize for Atma is not like a microbe, okay? That you localize and then you say, oh, Chidananda Rupa Shiva. It does not make sense at all. Please do not make diagrams like these. So here, that I am the body is a wrong identity because annam is changing, modification of body, food is changing. Pranamaya, changing. Manomaya, definitely changing. What you're thinking, feeling is all the time changing. I am not either of these, but I am in and through all of this because all of them are referred to as Annamaya Atma, Tenaisha Purnaha. So Atma, Atma, Atma word is there all the way, same, same. Then maybe I'm Vijnanamaya, you know. Actually, I'm not very happy with all that I have done in my life. Or I am very happy with all that I have done in all these years of my life. So, what you feel is based on your karma. You are much more than all of this. But if you say that you are only this much, then it is Vijnanamaya Kosha. You have made an error on this, on what you truly are. No, no, actually, I am all the sum of all happy experiences in my life. I am Ananda. That is not Ananda, that is Ananda Maya. Modification of different experiences of happiness as though mm, as though covering my Swarupa. But why you say like that? A word Chida Ananda was used, Chidananda was used. But I don't feel happy. Exactly. Because you are identified with Anandamaya Kosha. Kosha means different degrees of happiness. And naturally, depending on your raga dveshas, you suppose you like dark chocolate. Somebody gives you milk chocolate. Okay. So raga is for dark chocolate, dvesha is milk chocolate. Then what will happen is when you eat dark chocolate, there will be ananda. When you check the food packet, the chocolate wrapper, is happiness mentioned as an ingredient? Because if it was, dark chocolate should make everyone equally happy, but it doesn't. According to what is your raga, it makes you happy. Somebody may spit it out because for that person, it is not a raga, it is a dvesha. The person just cannot stand dark chocolate. So we have to still look into the analysis of Ananda, which we will do in the next session. But for now, any experience of Ananda is really my Swarupa, my intrinsic nature that reveals itself and may be experienced in degrees according to my Raga Dvesha. Suppose I don't really have Raga Dveshas, okay? They are all reduced to preferences. I am happy, period. It's not like I will be happy when I go on vacation. I will be happy when I get moksha. You are already mukta. It is only to be known. So then, what is the difference between you and moksha? No, no, I think I need adhikaritvam. But you already have sufficient adhikaritvam to have come here. What is it that is denying you the fact that to see that you are already free? Oh, I have lot of responsibilities. You are free enough to perform any responsibility, correct? How responsibility is a burden? It's a privilege, it's a luxury. It is so much Shakti has been given to you, infrastructure is given to you. So, no, no, I cannot be Mukta. You are already Mukta. What you are saying, you cannot be Mukta. No, I don't feel it. This is Manomaya Kosha. We come back to it, okay? You believe I equals mind. You believe I equals body. And again, we see the truth that body and mind are an object of my awareness. I am that awareness. I am that chit that illumines everything. I am that chit that has no boundaries. I am that chit that has no limits. And I have always been like this. But because of avidya, the body mind was taken to be me. And therefore, I am suffering the limitations of the body and mind. So more and more I see this, more and more I see that all this body mind is manifestation, is form. It is all pervaded by Satyam, but actually does not have an existence of its own. Then I am able to abide in the understanding of Aham Shiva, Shivoham, Shivoham. So we'll stop here and we will resume the next session, but I will take questions if there are any. Oh, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Swamiji, for a very fantastic, very illuminative session. Viewers, if you have questions, please put in. We have 5 minutes. We'll just see. Swamiji, as we wait if, for audience, if there are any questions, they will place. Um, I had a question of my own. This is a question I had for some time. That in the second shloka that you discussed, there is both prana and there is also panchavayu. I mean, this panchavayu already includes prana, apana, etc. So I thought that the reason it could be that the reason the prana is mentioned separately is could it be that the prana here refers to something else and not the prana of the panchavayus? So could it be that this refers to perhaps some others? For example, some in some Upanishads, I think prana is taken to mean Hiranyagarbha, or prana is taken to mean the Mula Prakriti or Karana Sharira or something like that. Perhaps that could be the context here. Please shed light on this.
Yeah, very good question. Prana could refer to Hiranyagarbha. Yeah, it could refer to Hiranyagarbha because, see, the Nirvana Shatkam is Tvam Pada Pradhana. Okay, what that means is it's more an inquiry, a negation of Tvam Pada, of who the person, the individual is. There are some references to Tatpada, but not enough. Okay, so that's point one. And point two is that wherever there is Tvam, wherever there is the individual, you cannot look at the individual in isolation of Tat, the total samashti. So with individual, total comes in. So like that, there are references to Tat in every verse. That the individual is being sustained by the samashti, laws of nature, Hiranyagarbha, Virat, and Ishvara, all the way. So it is mentioned by implication. And so prana could very well refer to Hiranyagarbha. Uh, so Hiranyagarbha, or the cosmic intelligence, for those who are not familiar with the word. Yeah.
Thank you, Swaminiji. So I had this doubt for a very long time. So this was helpful. We have not received any question. There is one comment about the session that it is a wonderful session. Viewers, if you have any questions, you can reflect over the day and we'll join again at 3 p.m. and Swamiji will continue. So then also the questions will be taken could be taken towards the end. So before we close, Swamiji, one final question. This is a more generic question. Regarding, I mean, this Nirvana Shatkam is also one of the Prakarana Granthas. So Shankaracharya has written many Prakarana Granthas for the sake of students. So where do you place this Prakarana Grantha in terms of at what level should a student engage with this text? So some your thoughts on this.
See, first of all, Vedanta is to be studied with a teacher. That's point one. And so let the teacher decide. Yeah. What would be most appropriate for the student? That's the approach we always take. Um, but for someone who might be, exposed to a few teachers and maybe doing some reading and so on, only with some, only after maybe one Upanishad, if the person has studied, or if the person has studied at least 6 chapters of the Gita, where enough verses of Brahma Vidya are there along with Yoga Shastra. only then. Otherwise, it would be premature to be exposed to this text. And I've had to counsel a few people who have studied, or not, I won't say studied, who were exposed to this text, who got into problems of dissociation and who wanted to become a sannyasi and wanted to give up all responsibilities. So it would be highly, um, irresponsible to do so if one misunderstands this text. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think that is a very important rider caveat that sannyasa has to come from vairagya, not from misunderstanding. So, with that note, we will conclude this session, and viewers will join again at 3 p.m. and Swaminiji will continue with this text. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates about our upcoming events. So, with this, we will conclude the session. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha.